Today we've got a Lenovo IdeaPad 5, and this actually came in from another shop, so you'll see that some of the hardware is missing, but the problem that we're having here is that they replaced the hinge, which was broken, one of these hinges down on the bottom, and when they put the display back in, there does not appear to be any backlight. So I'm going to attempt to show you what that looks like, because it's going to be a little tricky here, and in fact, just turning this thing on has been kind of unusual because you hold the power button and nothing happens. But if I plug in a USB-C charger, which I'm going to do right here, and then hit the power button, it will turn on. As you can see, the keyboard's lighting up. I can unplug the charger, and now very faintly, hopefully this will show up on camera, but there's a Lenovo logo right there on the screen. But as you can see, there is no backlight right now. Now I've taped this into place just to hold it there. They didn't send all the hardware that holds the rest of it in position. Okay, let's see if the clock is a little more clear. There's the login. I really hope that this shows up on video. Anyways, so what we've got is an image, no backlight behind it. This is an LCD, so we know that not only is there a circuit that generates this picture on the screen, but there's also a separate circuit that illuminates the screen by putting light behind it. And for some reason we don't have that. This is very similar to phones and tablets and basically anything that uses an LCD system. So what I'm going to do here, like I said, I've just kind of secured the display. I've already taken the back panel off, so you can take a look inside here. And this is where the display connects, all the way over here in this corner. And we have a 32 volt circuit, at least that's what we should have, that goes to the backlight. Looking at the schematics, we can see that, as usual, it comes in on one end of the connector. So right over here on the left, which again is going to be a little tricky for me to record. But when the backlight is on, we should have 32 volts right over here. And here is a slightly better view of our display connector. That big capacitor on the left hand side that has an upside down JEDP. The right hand side there is where we should be getting our 32 volts. So what we're going to do is pull this motherboard out. We'll take a look at the schematic and see if we can figure out where that circuit goes. And once we do that, hopefully we can solve this problem. So what we're looking at here is our display connector, which is right over here. And this is where the power 32 volts is supposed to be coming in. And this is the capacitor that I'm checking for voltage on, where we're missing. And then if we flip the board over, we'll look at the back side here, and you can see that right over here we have got a filter. This is FG2. This is the side that goes to the display connector. And then this here is where our 32 volts is supposed to be coming from. So if we don't have continuity across there, then obviously not all of the power is getting through to the other side here where we need it in order to turn the backlight on. Getting this battery out, it's a little tricky. There's not a really good, it's kind of hard to pry on this thing. I've tried with the spudger, and you can, but it's very easy to damage that. So what I'm going to do is take out all of the battery screws. I've already moved a couple of them. We'll go ahead and get all of these out, because believe it or not, just pulling on the battery itself seems to be the safest way to remove it. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So we had a total of 4 screws, 2 here, 1 here, and 1 over here. And from there, if you lift the battery up, you can get enough to just kind of pull that straight out, like so. And I think I'm going to also, I think we'll be okay. So we're going to have to disconnect a whole bunch of stuff on here. And this is the first time I've ever done this before. So all these little cables, obviously, will need to be disconnected and unplugged. Got 3 over here. 1 right here. Alright, we've got our display connector over here. And we've all got all kinds of antenna wires. We're going to have to remove this. And we will get our anti-static bag for that. Make sure I'm grounded. And I'm going to put this screw back in here so I know where it goes. Alright, so we've got our Wi-Fi here. And I don't think that's labeled. Looks like the black goes on this side though. I think that can actually stay on the board. We just need to move these out of the way. Another wire here. That's going to be hard to get a hold of. Cable here. Okay, black on the bottom, gray on the top for that one. And let's see, we're going to have some motherboard screws here. I see one. I suspect all of these four here. I'm not sure about those. I think those get to stay. All right, we'll start with this one. It says M2. Okay, looks like those are all the same size. What is holding this down? Okay, this can come out here. I think it's a little easier to reach now with the fan removed. Oh, and there's some adhesive underneath it. That's why it's so tricky. We almost definitely got a warranty screw here. Quote, warranty screw, I should say. Alright, and that's it. Okay, not too bad. Now, let's take a look at this side, see what we can find. I believe we're going to be looking right over in this area over here. So we're going to have to get underneath this stuff, which is under that Kapton. Oh, look at that. That was easy enough. Alright, where are you? Let's check under the scope. And we are looking for FG2. Looks like, which is right here. A little hard to see with the glare, right? Okay, so this is FG2, and with any luck, it will show us an open line. Alright, so we're going to put this in ohms mode and see how many ohms we have from either side of FG2 to the other. And that doesn't look great. So, I think we have a bad fuse. We really should have continuity here. So if we just put this into continuity mode, we have a lack of continuity. So that looks like our bad fuse right there. If we replace that, hopefully we will have a backlight again. Now I've got to figure out what's going to be compatible with this thing. This is a 3 amp 32 volt ERBRD 3R00X. Now just a note here, fuses don't typically blow for no good reason. I mean, they can on occasion if they're just old, but it's pretty rare. There's usually something that's going to cause the fuse to blow. And so what I'm going to do is check the diode measurement to ground on this circuit and see if we have anything shorted. Okay, we've got OL there. We've got 0.475 there. So my assumption is going to be that this fuse blew because of something that had to do with either the hinge being broken or maybe the battery was connected when the screen was installed. I don't know for sure. Hopefully it doesn't blow as soon as I install another one, but we will find out here momentarily. I don't know exactly how much heat we're going to need here, So we'll add some flux and some leaded solder to start with. And I'm going to set my hot air to the usual 430C, 35 liters per minute. I have an 8-inch nozzle, and like I said, first we're going to kind of get some leaded solder on here with the iron, and then see if this comes off easy or not. It should. And we know that one's bad. So, some lead down here. And see if we can do this with just the air. Should be possible. Alright, I think we're good. We will clean this up and put the board back inside and see what happens. We'll let that cool off for just a second. Probably should have confirmed this fuse is good. Okay, good there. I will get this back inside the frame, or the housing, and hopefully we have a functional backlight. Power button. Okay, we've got the keyboard to light up. And there we go. We have a backlight again. And unfortunately, I can't show you how to put this all back together because it's going back to a store that does repairs. But at least now you know where that fuse is located.